Hello and welcome to Metra AV Tech Tip Solutions. I'm Brent.
I'm Adam.
And it's Friday.
It is Friday.
So Friday is our fun day because we get to talk about one of our products.
Right. So Wednesdays, of course, we talk about just the general concept of something in the industry. And Fridays are where we get to actually talk about our products specifically that maybe correlate to whatever was going on
and how
Wednesday.
to fix a problem we talked about on Wednesday.
Right. So this Wednesday, what did we talk about, Brent?
This past Wednesday, we talked about the CEDIA HDMI paper.
Yes.
And we talked specifically about the what they refer to as the HDMI protocol section.
Yes.
Which is 5-volt, hot plug, TMDS capabilities, FRL.
Right.
Bandwidth, hot plug triggers, voltage and current.
Yes.
And actually, we didn't get as far into that because there's a lot to talk about.
There is a lot to talk about with that.
But today, we're going to talk about a repair tool that fixes a whole lot of that.
Yes.
And that is
the AIO2. So I was ready for that, right? So we have our HDM-AIO2. Now, here's the thing. We have talked about this device before. This is actually one of our flagship devices, one of our highly talked about devices. But the truth is it lines up perfectly with what we were talking about on Wednesday.
And you should have one in your truck because
really
it is a huge problem solver.
Yes, definitely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and we'll get a top-down view, and we'll we'll just go ahead and open this up. So
where's your top-down view?
Editor. My editor is doing that for me.
Oh.
So so editor, if you'll give me a top-down view here, thank you very much.
It's nice to have a producer.
It is very nice to have a producer. So from there, we're going to just open it up. Now the AIO2 does a lot of stuff, and I mean a lot of stuff. So like here on the back of it here, we'll go ahead and talk about this. We've got one, we have it in French, and two, we have it in English. But no, moving on from that.
Parlez-vous français?
Oh, we also have it in Spanish. I forgot about that. We did have it in Spanish on here. Yeah. So it does the 5-volt TMDS and hot plug power insertion, EDID repair, hot plug trigger control, 5-volt 1-amp power supply is included with this. That's what this guy is here. But it does so much more than that. Brent, you want to talk about a little bit about what it does?
Absolutely. And let's talk about why this exists.
Yes.
A lot of things that happen in our world happen on the EDID bus that cause us to not function correctly.
Yes.
Now, this could be simple things like long time to sync.
Yes.
Mode out of range, frequency out of range, picture dropouts, odd color shifts.
Yep.
Audio dropouts.
Yep.
All of those are generally caused by problems within the EDID domain.
Yes.
Now, what causes the vast majority of the EDID domain problems?
Capacitance.
And what is capacitance?
Capacitance is where we have a charge that basically builds up on the HDMI cable itself.
Or the bus.
Or the bus. Well, it's all connected, so it's all one thing anyways. But it builds up that charge on that, which then creates a lag on that
signal. Slows
signal.
the data down. It's like driving through the mud. Or the snow if you're from the Northeast.
Yeah, see, exactly. So one of the main things that this does is it has our HDM-JR3 or the Junior
accelerator built into it. So
yes.
It strips the capacitive loading off of the data bus, which means that the data is not only on time, but actually ahead of the clock.
Yeah.
Which is good because it doesn't just go up and then come down. It goes up and stays for a prescribed period.
It holds it there.
And then drops down. So we're up faster.
Yep.
Holds it just a little longer before it drops. So everybody's happy.
Yes.
And this solves a huge amount of problems in the field. But that's just the beginning of what the AIO does.
Yep.
And in fact, what does AIO stand for, Adam?
All in one.
Yes, it does.
Pretty straightforward, right?
Yep.
So the all-in-one, and actually this, the all-in-one or the AIO2 is a conglomeration. Is that the right word for that?
A combination.
Yeah.
Of all the devices we built before it.
Right. So we used to have the HDCVS? No.
No. Well, okay. We had the VI, which is a voltage inserter.
Right.
That was for 5-volt and hot plug.
Right.
Then we had a voltage control trigger, which is the hot plug interrupt.
Yep.
And then we had an ACVS, which was the active cable voltage stabilizer.
Yes.
Which powered up the TMDS feeds. And then, of course, we had the DAD.
Right.
Now, also in this is a part that got added along the way specifically for the HDMI chipsets and the kaleidoscopes.
Yes.
So all of these individual devices, which we used to sell as individual devices, and it turned out sometimes you needed more than one, which meant you start plugging these things in line, which added its own fail points.
Yes, exactly.
Are all built into one box.
Yep.
So, as mentioned, it does capacitive stripping. This is a big chunk of your repair.
Yes.
Because that's speeds things up and data's on time and the clock's working good and everybody's happy.
Yeah.
But that's not the only thing it does.
Nope.
It also provides a solid 4.7 volts for the 5-volt trigger, and it's actually 4.7 volts.
Yeah.
When you say 5.
Yeah.
And it provides a 4.7 volt hot plug return.
Yes.
Because we're not reliant upon the television's voltage to do this.
Right.
And on top of that, it provides more current.
Yep.
Because voltage is only the carriage for the actual working portion,
Right.
which is the current.
Right.
Now, so we have capacitive stripping. We have 5 volts. We have hot plug. But there's more.
Yes.
We have hot plug control.
Yes.
Now, one of the issues we see with cable boxes, with Apple TVs, with Direct TVs, is after you've turned the unit off and it sits a while, you turn the system back on and it doesn't work. Well, why not?
Well, for multitudes of reasons, but one of the primary reasons is that basically we're just getting an EDID mismatch and things are just not communicating
well, when
like
you
they
turn
should.
the TV off, it turns off its EDI chipset. So it's no longer communicating, but for whatever reason, it doesn't turn off its hot plug.
Right.
So the source, cable box, Apple TV, Direct TV, gaming console, doesn't know that the TV's been off, so it doesn't know to renegotiate.
Yep.
And so it's just kind of sending stuff out there, but the TV doesn't know what to do. Now, sometimes it will work.
Yeah.
Sometimes it won't.
Right.
So with this, with the hot plug interrupt, which is that little green plug.
Yep. So if you look at it here on the top down, the green plug here, it's just a Phoenix connector, and all it is just it's looking for contact closure.
So you tie it to a relay on your control system, and if you don't have a control system, you use the IR-Kit CC US. Sorry about that.
Nope, that's okay.
I'm still, yeah, we've
You're
been
still
doing
getting
this for
backwards.
2 years.
I know.
And I'm still backwards.
I know.
Now, this will allow you to take any existing IR remote
Yep.
and trigger open and close commands to this.
Yes. So basically what's happening then is that we are, on Wednesday, if you go back and watch Wednesday's topic, we talked about the process of starting an HDMI connection. We've got the 5-volt trigger, or 5-volt from the source device, which is just basically the knock on the door.
Yep.
Then we have the hot plug detect, which is now
An acknowledgement.
an acknowledgement who's there. And then from there, then it starts the communication of EDID and HDCP and all that kind of
And
stuff.
if the acknowledgement doesn't happen, it doesn't know to start the communication.
Right.
So with the hot plug interrupt, effectively you're unplugging the cable and plugging it back in, or power cycling the device.
Right.
This is a huge problem solver for cable boxes.
Yep.
Particularly when it worked great yesterday, we went to use it today and it's a black screen.
Yep.
Now, there's nothing wrong with the system.
Right.
It's just not right.
It's just the system isn't working. It's just
And
it's
this
just
is
not
the
working
fix.
right. So this is one of that particular fix there is actually easy to test before putting this in. This can definitely be the fix for it, or it can be a solution for that problem, or a test for that problem. But essentially, if you just unplug the HDMI cable and plug it right back in, don't have to wait any period of time. Just unplug it, plug it right back in. If that fixes the problem, this will be the solution. Put this in there, tie it into your automation system. Again, if you don't have an automation system, you can get into the CS IR-Kit CC US, which will allow you to, actually this is the 1 US is what you gave me here.
Oh,
but the
robots?
IR-Kit CC US will allow you to have that contact closure programmed to any remote that you have out there.
Any remote, any standard IR remote.
Yep, correct. And so then you can actually control this, the hot plug detect or hot plug trigger on this with that connection, which means that you can now ensure that that's going to continue to work.
Now let's talk about what else it does.
Yes.
Built into this is also the ACVS.
Right.
Now, when you look at TMDS or even FRL, there's voltage carried over the video feeds that actually powers the output of the source device.
Right.
Well, that's well and good, assuming there's enough voltage. There may not be. Longer cables, weaker outputs, or input, excuse me,
Right.
on an AVR or a...
We can have active cables that are actually drawing too much
Too much
power.
current?
Yep.
So sometimes there just is not enough there, and this is particularly on some satellite devices where firmware updates are now demanding more current.
Right.
This is the solution for that as well, because we are not worried about what the TV's doing. We are creating our own voltage and current,
Yes.
which is powered off the 1 amp power supply.
Yep.
To make sure that the output of the source device is happy.
Yes.
So now we've got capacitive stripping. We've got 5-volt and hot plug voltage supplementation. We've got hot plug interrupt to make sure everything's properly starting its communication.
Yep.
We've got voltage and current supplementation for the TMDS and FRL lines.
Yep.
Plus if you're using a Kaleidoscape, which is a wonderful product,
Yes, it is.
it does have a fairly picky HDMI circuit. There's nothing wrong with it. It's well within spec.
Nope. Yep.
It's just a little pickier.
Yes.
It wants to see a time differential, a low voltage of 0.6 volts. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Within the HDMI specification, there's a specification called Philips.
Yeah.
And all they said was look back at the Philips standard for EDID from 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Philips was kind enough to give us a high number, 4.7 volts.
Yep.
They never gave us a low number.
Yeah.
What Philips says is anything below 0.9 volts may
It could.
be considered zero.
Yep.
It does not say must be. So that means not all devices will recognize 0.9 volts.
Right.
The Kaleidoscape, for example, wants to see 0.6 volts.
Yeah.
We don't worry about that. We take it to 0.4. So you always get a solid swing down to zero on a zero signal.
Yep.
So the Kaleidoscape's happy. So this tool really does do it all.
It really does.
The only thing this tool does not fix is trying to go video long distances.
Right.
And for that, you use our gigabit accelerators.
So it doesn't do it all, but it does most. And
Well,
this is one of
there's
those things.
everything within the voltage and
EDID
EDID
and-
controlled
yep.
domains.
So when definitely check out this device here. It's the HDM-AIO2.
It's in stock.
It's in stock. Contact your sales rep or your distributor for availability and pricing. Again, this is the HDM-AIO2. And also, if you have any questions at all about this device here, feel free to reach out to us directly. You can reach me at adam.rogers@metraav.com, or you can meet
Brent.mccall at metraav.com, and
Yep.
I am at 386-202-6137, and
I'm
Adam is at
6132. So feel free to reach out to us directly if you have any questions about this. You can also leave it down in the comment section below if you were watching this after the fact, and we do monitor those comments and those questions about that, and we're happy to get back
and
to
we
you as
look
quick as
forward to
possible.
seeing them. And please give us a call, and don't forget check in every Wednesday.
Yep.
For Metra AV Tech Tips.
Yep, exactly. And come back on
3 p.m.
Friday after that to check out these episodes of Metra AV Tech Tips Solutions, where we talk about our products specifically, because on Wednesdays, we try not to talk about our products specifically. It kind of gets
Just
us in trouble, but
problem-solving.
just problem solving. So definitely reach out to us if you have any questions, and check out this the HDM-AIO2.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Oh, I'm Brent.
I'm Adam.
And reboot early.
Reboot often.
Don't cut your wires too short.
Turn off CEC.
Call tech support.
Yeah, call
and
tech support.
We're it.
There you go.
Thanks.
Thanks everyone.